Sacramento getting 4 and 5. You need, we got to have a conversation. I'll be your
Okay,
therapist. I'll be your therapist.
but Jeff, what if you go, hey
Oh, I
Sacramento?
love the what if game. Let's play.
Yeah, what if you say, yo Sacramento?
Yeah.
How about we give you Jeremy Grant, and in addition, we throw in your old pal Kojo. We throw in. What is going on? I want to welcome you from Half Court for today, Thursday, May 26, 2022. I'm your host, Sean Murphy, alongside my man, Jeff Ifrady. Jeff, what it do, baby?
What it do? Recorded the new Woodward Pistons podcast this week with Rod and asked him some questions regarding trading that pick, and today we're going to discuss it. So it's an interesting topic. I know the Jeremy Grant rumors are buzzing, so let's get into it, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely. Woodward Pistons, by the way, popping off over there itself. You guys are, we're killing it over there at Woodward Pistons. So if you're not subscribed, you. But anyway,
Period.
Yeah, 100%, flat out, no debate. The last one we were on was almost over 4,000 views. The one before that, over 8. So man, thank you all for the support on Woodward Pistons. It is absolutely awesome, and the support over here has been great as well too. But with that, Jeff, let's talk about draft stuff again today. Let's do something a little different though, because myself, you, and a lot of other Pistons fans really analyze those top 3 picks. And even though we did not land in the top 3, you can never say never. Now, some people think of the lottery and that the draft system's about getting lucky, right? But what if Troy Weaver decides he wants to make his own luck? What if Troy Weaver decides he wants to get in that top 3? Now, Orlando, they ain't doing a damn thing. They're not trading that pick. They have been waiting for the number 1 overall pick for years. But Jeff, what if I told you I think it's possible for the Pistons to trade in the top 3 at 2 or 3? What are your thoughts?
Well, we understand it takes 2 to tango, so Troy can want it all he wants. It would take, you mentioned Orlando, they're not going to trade it. I don't believe, I'm going to be honest with you, Sean. I think Houston's the only one that you can maybe get a deal done with. But again, a part of me also feels like Troy, and he went on the radio and had an interview right after the draft lottery, and he was comfortable being at 5. He said, if we had to, do a draft, I'll do it right now. I know who I'm going to select. I'm comfortable with the guys available. And that kind of tells me one thing, that he's not going to fork up assets to move up 2 spots if he's comfortable, with who's going to be there at 5. He would have to be in love with, and again, you have to wait till draft night because you have to see who goes where. Because if he's in love with, let's say, Jabari and he's gone, why would you trade up? You know what I mean? Yeah. So you're gonna have to wait
Jeff,
for that. But...
Okay, but Jeff, who Ray, who Ra? We all trusted Troy Weaver. I'm with you. I agree with your point wholeheartedly. But let's take off our practical hats for a second, and let's join the mindset of those in the comment section. Let's get our neck beards growing for those in the Reddit threads that are spending their time on the trade machines or playing 2K franchise thinking that equates to being Troy Weaver. What do you think it would take for Detroit to get into the top 3? And realistically, do you think that's a conversation that a general manager should even be having? Because like you said, first of all, this is a deep enough draft where you can still get a really darn good player at 5.
And not give up anything.
So is moving up 2 picks a difference? But Jeff, what about getting another pick in this top 10? Let's talk about that, because I think that could be very interesting. Now, we know there are 2 teams that want to trade their pick potentially. The Sacramento Kings at 4 and the Portland Trailblazers at 7. Jeff, what kind of moves do you think would be in play? And why do you think Jeremy Grant will be gone in like 2 weeks when the Pistons have the chance?
The deal that is most likely going to get done is that Portland Trailblazer deal, and with Jeremy going to Portland and us getting the 7th pick. I don't see a situation where you do a trade with Sacramento, you give them Jeremy Grant, and you move up 1 spot. I would rather you keep, and this is what I want to know so bad. This is what I want to know.
But how is there a scenario where Detroit could get both of those picks?
Are you talking about 4 and 5?
Yes.
Okay,
You trade
this is
Jeremy.
hold on.
Okay,
Hold
but
on.
like, all right, I know. I'm just saying, like, what do you think it would take? Like, I'm just saying, like, if we're looking at trading talent, what does it take for Detroit to keep that pick at 5? Listen, what if I want
A
my
shit ton, Sean.
what if I want my cake and eat it too, Jeff? What if we get Shane Sharp and Keegan Murray at 4 and 5? Let's go. Are you telling me you're
Okay.
not all about making that happen?
It sounds attractive. I'll just let me just
guess.
put
You'd have to give up Sadiq. Would you have to give up Sadiq?
You're gonna have to give up something, Sean. And this is why I echo this. I don't want the Pistons to do that. Why?
Okay,
I would be
but all right.
comfortable at
How about
7.
this? All right, again, let me just throw my GM hat. Hear me out, okay?
Mhm.
We'll
Go
figure
ahead.
out we'll figure out the salary.
Now, if you can get the Kings to bite on a trade for Jeremy and other things for that 4th pick, and you have 4 and 5, that's tough. And I think a lot of these theories come from the fact that Troy, when he got Sadiq and Isaiah, everyone was like, "Whoa, the amount of moves this man made in one draft, especially one draft night." I get all that. It's
Yeah,
exciting. I just don't think we should be expecting that, every year.
right.
Now the 7th pick is in play. I
Yeah.
agree with that. I think
Uh-huh.
Portland is at a point right now where they're desperate and they want to get better players and they don't want to wait on whoever it is, a possible Shaden Sharp, whoever it is. So that's likely. But
Uh-huh.
whoever's talking about Sacramento getting 4 and 5, we got to have a conversation. I'll be your
Okay.
therapist. I'll be your therapist.
But Jeff, what if you go, "Hey
Oh, I
Sacramento."
love the what if game. Let's play
Yeah,
it.
what if you say, "Yo Sacramento,
Yeah.
how about we give you Jeremy Grant, and in addition, we throw in your old pal Kojo. We throw in Killian Hayes. You
That's a highway
deepen that
robbery.
you deepen that backcourt. And if you want another wing, we'll give you Hamidou Diallo. And in return, we'll take your number 4 pick. And that's all you need to give us.
And this is the question I wanted
You
to
get
ask.
a former first round pick at guard. You get Hamidou Diallo,
Hey, listen,
who has high upside, who's a good 3-and-D wing, or who's a good defensive wing, who has some athleticism. Obviously, this trade's not happening. It's a terrible
no.
idea, but I'm just trying to figure out what it would take to happen. It's never going to happen. However, because people are talking about Sacramento at play, I'm trying to figure out what that scenario would be, because why would you trade up one pick? Legitimately.
No, I know.
The only
It
way
doesn't.
the only way you do is if Paulo falls, right? Or if
And you
Paulo
love
or
them.
Jabari, like if they fall, is that the scenario you trade up one?
And I want to ask Pistons fans this too. Troy Weaver already said you can't have a team full of 20-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
So why does everybody want to have, and I get it, you're going to have like 6-year players on rookie contracts and it's exciting, but where does that Jeremy Grant value come into play? Do you guys want to find success sooner than later? And if you do sign a DeAndre, and we're playing the what if game, you go out and sign DeAndre, and why wouldn't you keep Jeremy Grant and draft a Jay Nivey? Doesn't that team sound more attractive than let's get Keegan Murray, Jay Nivey, and then we'll just roll out and make the playoffs? And that, listen, I love those 2 prospects, but I just don't think it's likely. That's my only problem.
Let's say Jeff, we had our podcast come out yesterday. For anyone that did not see it, where we did our first official mock draft. We're going to be doing another mock draft the week of the draft.
Yeah.
Let's say, Jeff, that the Pistons are on the board at 5 and 7.
Yep.
Okay. Let's say at 5, you could take a guy like Keegan Murray or Jaden Ivey. And then at 7, you get that number 7 overall pick. What are some names you're looking at? Because I know there's guys like Jalen Duren that's at play. I know there's guys like Benedict Mathurin that are at play. I know there's guys that are like AJ Griffin that are at play. There's guys like Ty Washington. This is a pretty deep class. What are your thoughts?
I like Jalen Duren a lot. And I feel, and listen, I get it. There's a lot of good centers in this class, but Jalen Duren is definitely the most physically imposing. Like the guy in Memphis. And this is why I would like a guy like Jalen Duren, because if we take a Jay Nivey at 5, you have your backcourt, you have, and you trade away Jeremy Grant, of course. So if you want to go forward, go forward. I don't know who's going to be available if especially if Keegan Murray's off the board. Maybe you take AJ Griffin, whatever the case may be.
I just feel
But
like you can get a better big in free agency though. Like whatever, like
and that's
even with his upside. Like I like Duren and guys, like don't get me wrong, I like Jalen Duren, but there's a crowd that believes or is certain that he's the answer at the big man, and like he could be, for all intents and purposes, he could be. But
Mhm.
let's not talk about him like he's this sure thing, because there's some actual sure things available in the free agency period. So for me, at this point, if we're not in that top 3, if we're not having a conversation about getting Paulo Banchero, I'm not interested in any other big man in this draft. Because in my opinion, what any other big man you can get in this draft doesn't add anything that you can't already get on the market available right now, possibly even cheaper.
I get that point, but also I need a fallback option, and I get Mitchell Robinson.
Mhm.
Everybody always brings on Mitchell Robinson, but
Right.
come on. Like Jalen Duren to me is going to be better than Mitchell Robinson. So that argument,
Would you
and you're
rather have
paying
Jalen
for it.
Duren or Mo Bamba?
I know what Mo Bamba is. I mean, I pretty much do. I'm going to be honest with you, and I don't know how much money he's going to be commanding. That's the big thing. You know, like
Okay,
what's the question?
let's say you can sign Mo Bamba 3 years, $27 million. His value is not going to be much more than 10
Yeah, you're
million.
talking. I mean, you're okay. I like the words coming out of your mouth.
Because
I
here's the
don't.
thing. Because here's the thing. Why do that when you have guys like Benedict Mathurin that are available right on the board? Even if you go guard at 5, Benedict Mathurin's a guy who's a wing, who's someone who's available that can add on the defensive end. In my opinion, why not just get more skilled players or guys who can come in? Or let's say our guy, the one that we're talking about, let's say Shaden Sharp, for some reason falls all the way to 7. Let's say he's available and on the board. Whatever we do, I say, even if we draft Jaden Ivey at 5, I almost make the argument there's enough reason to at least take that swing at 7 if he's on the board, still available at 7.
That's too many. That's too many guys that want that.
I
That
don't
at least
care.
are going
You
to need
can
the
make a
ball.
trade. You can figure it out. With Cade, you can
All
feed the
right.
ball. You can never have too many guys that can score the ball.
But how can you play those 3 together?
You
You put Kate. I guess you put Kate at the small forward spot. You
you
put
you
Jade
could you
at
yeah,
the
you could
point.
even put you could even
But
put Jaden
still,
Ivey at the small forward spot.
yeah. I guess that does
Or
sound like a modern NBA
or there's
lineup
also
approaching college.
or there's also the situation where you draft Keegan Murray at 5 and Shaden Sharp at 7.
Oh, now now we're
Yeah,
talking.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just again, I don't hate on that plan to go with 2 rookies and have a team full of 20-year-olds, and and that you have a young team. I love it. You have a
right,
lot of guys that can develop. I just want to ask Pistons fans what they think, and what
right,
route do you want to go?
right.
Would you
Well, it's
rather
just
than
my
switch
argument
your
would be well, my argument would be, Jeff, because you and I think we're on the same page that we want to get some veterans in there. It's just a matter of what veterans are you going to bring in? Because in my opinion, if you're going to go young at another position, I think you go young at wing, not young at the big man. Because in my opinion, if you're going to draft another big, that's a position where Detroit needs stability, right? So whoever if let's say you go draft Jalen Duren, let's say you draft someone else at the big man position, you're having that position still developing,
right?
still in a position where, and like not saying that they can't come in and succeed, because Evan Mobley came in and succeeded the way that he did, but he's the exception, not the rule, right? So I almost wonder if that's a position where you go and get a veteran or more of a sure thing, and then you can have wings that can develop, because over the season, they can come in and a wing's job is simple: 3 and D. Shoot the 3, defend. That's a position, in my
Yeah.
opinion, you could
And
develop a little more quickly. And that's one that you want to be young. You want to be young at. Those are the ones you want to have on rookie contracts, because those are the ones that get expensive. And when you have to make some salary decisions, those are the difficult ones, because you might have to let some of those guys go.
yeah, no, and I agree with you. I think also you can argue having a veteran like Jeremy Grant. I get it. You didn't have a great year this year, and the whole team, not just Jeremy Grant.
Towards the
Um,
end half of the year, though, he was really good.
Yes, yes, and that I didn't mean Jeremy. I meant as the team entirely. But with Jeremy, to keep him on the team, I think there's value there, and I
Oh,
get
there
it.
is.
People talk about extending him. I don't know what he's going to command, but I just like a team better if you have more guys, especially like Jeremy Grant, who have been in this league for a while. You know what Jeremy Grant is. Every winning team wants a guy like Jeremy Grant. So if you feel like you're on the cusp of getting into that play-in tournament and being competitive,
Mhm.
if you take Jaden Ivey and you keep Jeremy Grant, or whoever you take and you keep Jeremy Grant, maybe you sign a big man, DeAndre and whoever it is.
Mhm.
I like that situation. I mean, if we're talking getting back to being competitive quickly, and
Yeah.
then you can maybe trade Jeremy in the middle of the year, depending on how it goes, how the season goes. A lot of options for the Pistons. I'm just
Yeah.
curious to see what direction Troy Weaver wants to go.
Other than Jeremy Grant, what Piston is most likely to get traded this offseason?
I don't think any. I mean, who would be moved?
Well, that's the thing with Troy Weaver. You would almost make the argument, you don't know what he's thinking this offseason. You don't know what could happen at the draft, but you're looking at this position now. This is when Troy Weaver is going to start cashing in. And in my opinion, in the years to come, I think we're going to see Troy Weaver. I think you're going to have to move a core piece. So I think if you're looking at who could be traded of the guys that we have right now.
Olynyk? I mean, you just trade away salary fillers? I don't know.
I mean, I think you can make the argument that guys like Frank Jackson could potentially be involved in trades. I think you can make the argument if Detroit's trying to get better, you could potentially ship Killian Hayes this summer. I think there's a lot of different ways that you can go. I'm not saying I think that's going to happen, but if we're playing the what if game, which in my opinion, that's what today's video is. We're playing the what if game.
A lot of what ifs.
There are some players that, in my opinion, could potentially be on the trading block. So I'm just interested. I'm ready to get to the offseason already. I want to see some trades. It's like everyone has fans, like you want to scratch the itch. Like, obviously you got to be balanced. You got to be you got to be realistic. And, even though some of the stuff we talked about might have been outlandish today, there is, we got to have the conversation. You know what I mean? You got to open the door at least.
We got to have confirmation for how we view it. And for me, I'm okay with getting Portland's pick. I don't want them to move up one pick. That's the
I'm in agreement.
Okay, so I do want to hear what Pistons fans have to say, though. Would you guys move up one pick if it means you have to give up Jeremy Grant, whatever the case may be?
Yeah.
I wouldn't. But
would you move up to 3?
And I also don't think there's any issue with keeping Jeremy Grant. So that's how I feel about it.
Would you move up to 3?
I would be more intrigued, yes, because then I know I'm getting one of the big guys, one of the big dogs. And especially if you give up Jeremy Grant and you get Apollo Banchero, I think that'll make the deal a little sweeter. Make the deal a little sweeter.
Yeah. What deal would make you feel sweeter on draft night? Let us know in the comment section down below. But also be sure to follow my guy Jeff on Twitter at JeffIF80 and also myself at Sean Halfcourt. Be sure to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share with your friends. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will catch you next time from Halfcourt. Be sure to subscribe. Damn it, went the wrong way. Son of a...